Hello and welcome again to Newbee Rumble 12. This time only battles, no inspections. There were some minor changes to vehicles, but those have been discussed with all the members, all those who submitted vehicles. And yeah, let's just get right into the battles. Beginning the day, we have the Baneling by Takir facing off against the Dagger class ship 07 by Yeetus Z Fetus. Let's just see. What do we have here? Ah yeah, right. It's this ship that has guns for superstructure. I'm pretty sure that's the Dagger class. Facing off against the very big guns of the Baneling. A lot of missiles going out. But I think those are just interceptors. Not sure. Interceptors, they're probably... Oh yeah, they did intercept the huge torpedoes. Or large torpedoes, not huge. But the Baneling is gaining DQ points for some reason. Is it perhaps out of range? I think it's been too far away. Yeah. It's close enough now thanks to the Dagger class approaching, fortunately. Those three guns do pack a bit of a punch for a broadside, at least, but... Oh yeah, it blew up a gun. That's both guns gone. We can basically call this already a win, I think.
Just make sure it doesn't DQ, right?
Yeah, we'll have to make sure for a moment it doesn't DQ, but if it takes out the torpedoes too... Actually, I'll check if they're gone already. This side isn't, and with that, I think the torpedoes... Yeah, they're both still in completely fine shape. So, as long as the torpedoes are still in the game, the Dagger class does stand a chance. It can still fight back, in theory. And it might just get lucky and the Baneling might just run away and DQ. Although right now, it seems to be holding its distance. Thanks to the broadside behavior. We'll have to see for how long that continues. Does it even have any ammo left to launch the torpedoes? I'm not sure. Looks like something happened here though. The Dagger class is actually not burning any materials. I'm not sure if it's moving at all anymore. Oh yeah, it is still. There go the torpedoes again. Let's see if they have a chance, or if the interceptors just... Yeah, the interceptors just murdered them completely. Even torpedoes that size can't hold up against them. Which is unfortunate, but... Well, it happens. Maybe it could have been different if the torpedoes were launched with a bit more time between each torpedo being launched. Maybe that would have helped against the interceptors a little bit, but in the end, we can't really know. Here goes another one. Single torpedo this time. That ain't gonna win. Yeah, there it goes. It really does look like the Baneling isn't going to go out of range anytime soon. It's very close to doing so, but it's not doing it. What else do we have here? I really do not see any way this could be turned around anymore. Sadly so. Also, I do think the torpedoes got damaged a bit. This looks to be very close. Yeah, this is... Oh, no, it's just a hatch. This, on the other hand, is indeed a torpedo. As is this. So yeah, sadly, gonna have to say the dagger class loses this one. And move on to the next battle. Which would be... Let me check real quick. It's the Riverine Patrol... The Riverine Patrol, I think. Yeah, there it is. Facing off against the Vanguard by a real artisan. Same deal as before. I think both of these are ships, so no changes to spawn altitude needed. And let's just see what we're having to watch here. Let the gun barrels load in. Oh yeah, I remember this. The Vanguard with its big crams. I did fix the problem with it not having firing restrictions on its turrets. I did do that before the submissions ended, so it doesn't have that weakness anymore, I think. Yeah, this doesn't. The turret goes back to idling already. On the other side we have the Riverine, which is... Oh, it's this one. The somewhat skimmer vehicle that mostly relies on simple weapons. There comes the first cram that hits, doing quite a sizable bit of damage. Those shells completely missed somehow, unfortunately. Also Vanguard looking, it was built, at least the superstructure was built out of wood, so I imagine the simple weapons have a bit of a chance against that. Oh, big hit against the Riverine here. Yeah, that hurt. Where was that hit? I feel like it was somewhere... Oh, it's down here. Side, what I assume to be an ammo department, or just empty space. Might also be the case. Another one of those hits. But the Vanguard is gaining DQ points. I think it's too low in the water. Jesus, those cram hits. Is it? It's either too low in the water or going away too fast. It's looking like it's winning on paper, but if it goes out of bounds, it's going to DQ. And yeah, it looks a lot like it will DQ soon. Sadly so. 48, 49, 50, and yeah, game over. The Riverine does win this battle by sheer luck and the gods that decided to give an EQ. Wait, no, I don't need to load anything here. There. Moving on to the 7th battle, we have one of my favorite designs in this one, probably, the Saturator Battle Shit by Jono. Fighting... Where was the battle? There it is. Whatever the name of the Design by Doozy kit was. There it is. The Wii Part 2 Tournament Edition. Not a long name. So, just let the designs load in for a moment. This year, the Wii Part 2 Tournament Edition. We've got big APS guns, 3 of them. At this point, a relatively standard setup for Newbee Rumble, I dare say. Facing off against probably one of the more unconventional designs. quadrupled cram turrets, loads of them, and a hydrofoil too. Even with this funny spinning backpack. There goes the barrage of cram shells just raining over there, completely filling the skies between those two ships with shells. And yeah, it's a constant stream of cram shells too, impressively enough. Oh, never mind, I spoke too soon. There it goes again. It is doing damage, it is in fact taking the lead in terms of damage too. But the question is, with its stern turned to the enemy, how well does it survive? Especially if those propellers get destroyed. Now they do some significant damage, especially to the deck armor, which is just very thin and just one layer of wood from the looks of it in some spots. But there was no critical hits to any of the guns just yet. Even though the shells are getting very close. Yeah, there they go. Oh, they did cut off a barrel now. That's gonna make a difference for sure. Saturating the superstructure with shell fire. And just continuously chopping off more and more blocks without much of a difference. What surprises me is that this obviously hydrofoil design is actually just not much faster than this relatively wide boat. That's very surprising to me. Shells missing. How's the guns looking over here? The lowest one took some hits, but all others on the stern are still functional. The bow weaponry is completely fine still. Yeah, with continued fire, eventually it looks like the Saturator battleship will win this one. But we can't tell for sure yet. Maybe the Weeper 2 will get a very lucky hit and just blow up all the ammo or something. It also does look like the Saturator is running out of materials soon, impressively enough. Which will make an important difference. Because, well, without materials you can't really keep up the constant gunfire anymore. Barrage after barrage of cram shells. Actually, it's pretty funny considering that in this battle, cram is being used as the rapid fire weapon, while APS is being used for internal cram damage, for doing larger alpha strikes. Kind of a role switch here. The turrets are taking some heavy losses at this point. The damage is starting to rack up. And the fact that the Saturator isn't using its full broadside probably only makes it easier for the Weeper 2 to win this one. Even if the bow turrets are completely protected, still they aren't really serving any purpose until they actually get to fire again. Oh, they are swinging around. Maybe, just maybe. A few shots. But no. To no whale. Yeah, at this point it really... At first it looked like the battles were going to go in favor of the Saturator, but at this point, with how the materials are looking, I don't think the Saturator has much of a chance anymore. Unless it gets to somehow knock out both of the remaining guns. Shells missing. Did the saturator lose its detection by chance? But laser trackers in there are still intact. They're still working. So it shouldn't be missing due to detection at least. Really is unfortunate to see the saturator lose though. I was hoping the crammed spam had a chance. Oh. The Wii Part 2 is going for a drive-by now. That may be good, may also not go well though, with how the bow turrets are still completely intact. Well, I say completely intact, but that's not quite the case. They did take some damage already. Interesting cram bounce there. Oh, do we get some ramming now? We do. Holy shit, the pontoon disappeared. Who's gonna win in the ramming fight? That's a very weird situation now. What's that? Ammo hit or something? No, doesn't look like it over here. And I really highly doubt the saturator penetrated anything. Well, the saturator is continuing to ram though. It's dealing some damage by doing so. The situation really isn't favoring it though. Although actually ramming into the wood it's doing something. I'm not gonna say it's doing something good, but it's doing something. And yeah, the saturator actually now losing the lead in hit points too. Not just the materials left. Being wedged into the Wii Part 2. And there seems to be no real way out for this situation either. It's just gonna basically break. Well, it might be able to break the ship in half, as unlikely as that sounds. And yeah, the materials are almost completely empty now, at this point. Very interesting fight, nonetheless. And fun to watch with all those cram shells flying through the air all the time. Oh, it's shredding through, but it's burning through its internals to try and break armor plating, so that's never gonna be working out anyways. Oh, it actually managed to break free, impressively enough. And it did somehow gain some materials back. Probably materials left in one of the turrets that broke off during the ramming process. I can't tell. But probably is that way. So yeah, what damage did this ram attack do? It did get through most of the armor, but nothing's quite exposed just yet, I think. So it did not quite work out, sadly. And the saturator is now going too far away. It seems to be unable to control it. Well, it does still have this rudder, but it still doesn't seem to be able to control its orientation well enough anymore. Gaining DQ points on top of already being behind quite a lot. So a very unfortunate situation. But with the last 10 seconds on the clock now, it's just a question of whether time kills the Saturator or whether the Weeper 2 gets a devastating enough hit. And it's just time. Congrats to Doozy Kid for winning the first battle. On to the 8th one. We get the angry drifty laser tanks back again. Hooray, hooray. Where are they? There they are. And they are facing the design by Z-Typers. What was it again? I think it's somewhere more up here. There, yeah. Both seem to be ships, so... Well, ships, or rather seafaring vehicles. Oh yeah, right, I remember now. This one is the one with very, very spaced armor. Curious to see how this monosider design will do. Especially with how the Angry Drifty laser tanks usually tend to attack their targets. The harpoons have landed. It's now pulling in on the target, on its prey. And it's doing so quick. Oh, it took that crime hit reasonably well too. And there we go, contact. The ramming, the lasering, even through the smoke, seems to be doing quite a bit of damage. As it's submerging both vehicles at the same time now. Actually, the Angry Drifty laser tanks are being pushed down by the weight of the experimental defense test ship. So this may be a bad thing for them, actually. Considering how lasers perform underwater, it just reinforces that. Yeah, they're sinking. They're gonna DQ from just being too low at this point. Either they get rid of that large ship on the top of their first three tanks, or they die, sadly. Although the experimental defense ship is despawning or something. It was an AI dead, I think. Right. I do probably need an opinion on this one, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like the experimental defense test chip had the AI die before the Angry Drifty laser tanks actually DQ'd, so please do let me know what you think would be appropriate to do here, especially you folks going to watch the video soon.
I think that if it starts despawning before the DQ, then the laser tank wins.
I would say the same, but well, we'll have a poll on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think this one goes to Angry Drifty laser tanks. Hooray for the funniest of all designs, probably. Well, actually, Battle 9. They are start facing off against the Trail Tracer. Let's see. I think it was somewhere a bit further down here. There's the Trail Tracer. There, yeah, there it is. Too bad Ivan isn't around, but well, he knew the times. So what we have here now is one ship with a load of APS guns that look like they're gonna fire at a high rate, and some missiles. Facing off against another ship with, if I recall correctly, a lot of APS firepower and some missiles. Who made the better APS plus missiles design? We shall see here. The Astad is losing a lot of HP already. And it's below water. What's that? Oh, it looks like the gun... It looks like a gun exploded. Two guns exploded, in fact. Yeah, that's very unfortunate then, yeah. Well, not quite exploded, but it does look like it took some critical damage and just died on the spot, probably losing its engines. I think this is the first sub 1 minute kill we've seen in the Newbee Rumble tournament so far. So congratulations to that one, Evamp. And immediately moving on to the next battle. Right, who won battle number 2? I think it was the CL-15. Facing off against the Froggodile. Actually, yeah, it was the CL-15. That was the very close DQ battle. I do know the Froggodile is actually an airship, so we'll spawn it at 100 meters in the air. Ah, yeah. Should probably save something if I put it there. There. So yeah, one of the derpiest designs, probably. Spinny cram guns. Bit of an offensive sea whiz. And very, very thin armor plating from what we know from the inspection. Facing off against something that's got a lot of guns that are meant to penetrate and hit hard. This might not go very well for the Froggodile, sadly. Because I do like how it looks. It's a very funny design indeed. But yeah, without taking hole after hole into its hull, I'm not sure how long the helium will keep it in the air. It does take the lead momentarily, at least. But yeah, we've got cram shells ricocheting like that when they hit a flat piece of armor, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, there it goes already. It just the helium can't keep up at some point if too many compartments are breached. That point is reached very quickly, sadly. Now the cram guns are firing their shells when they're underwater, which is... They probably don't have any chance to do anything anymore, to be honest. Still, we'll give it a fair fight. We'll let the Froggodile face off against the CL-15 until the bitter end. And it is still doing some damage at least. Some shells... Yeah, that's unfused cram for y'all. We just saw that shell bounce off from a flat piece of arm plating. How's the damage looking over here? It's probably centered mostly in the frontal area. Yeah, it is. Just breaching compartment after compartment here. Some of the guns seem to take some damage too though, so maybe it'll run out of gun barrels eventually too. As unlikely as that sounds. The CL-15 has taken back the lead. Neither competitor is really using materials at a high rate at this point. Yeah, let's see. Any damage to underwater guns just yet? This one took a bit of a hit, but not enough. And yeah, all main guns on the CL-15 are still completely in action and didn't seem to care much about the bombardment that happened just before. The engine does care though, apparently. Actually, for not being in the air anymore, the Froggodile is still doing somewhat reasonable amounts of damage. It's not falling behind as quickly as one might have thought it would. But that is not to say it isn't falling behind at all. And there you go, its APS gun is firing again. I was wondering where that went. Seems to be doing decent enough damage to drill through the metal in a few hits. Which I suppose isn't bad. The question is if it is enough to get the win. Oh, that is drilling in the direction of an AI, I think. Or at least a gun. It could still do some relatively critical damage like this. But yeah, it did take out a gun barrel here and an entire gun down here too. The APS, no doubt, is currently the most effective weapon on the Froggodile. Doing pretty significant damage for being just what looked like a side weapon at first glance. See what seems to be... oh no, it's firing still. Still happily chewing away at the armor plating of the CL-15. And chewing indeed it is. Oh, now it's reloading though. I don't hear any more hits coming in. I don't see any either. And there it goes again. I do wonder when it will actually break something like an AI or an ammo compartment. Oh, where's it aiming? It's aiming a bit too low. Oh, it's hitting again. Seems to be having... the Froggodile seems to be having some issues with aiming, so... maybe something happened to its detection. I don't know, where was it placed actually? I think some of it was down here. Probably cameras which, for obvious reasons, don't work anymore. Huh. Unless the Froggodile gets very, very lucky now and just cuts off like 2 or 3 turrets at once. I feel like the CL-15 has this one in its pocket. Here goes the APS shells. Hitting a few hits every now and then, but not much else. Actually, with how low the CL-15 is in the water, maybe just a few lucky holds can sink it and bring it below the DQ borders. Where would those holds have to be though? I feel like on the stern is where most of the air is at right now. Most of the leftover complete compartments. Well, the bow does seem like it has some left too though. The central part of the hull just got torn to shreds already. Oh, it's getting close. Well, how's the Froggadal doing over here? Looks like the frog part is taking hits too now. That's APS being exposed there. Very, very inconvenient for staying alive. Ah, there's no notable hits. More. The APS seems to have stopped firing. No, did it get destroyed? No, never mind. It is still firing. It's just missing. Yeah, it's way off. Detection's a bitch. Well, maybe it'll... Nah, actually, it's just because of the timer. It's just the Froggadal can't win anymore, even by DQ. An AI kill is the only thing it really has left as an option now. Oh? Oh, never mind. The Froggadal lost its AI. Well, I kinda jinxed that, I guess. Unfortunate as it may be. Yeah, with that I think we've got the entire first bracket done. Save for the loser battles. Now, with how my real life issues are coming along, I think I'm gonna end the stream here already. And have a bit of a longer stream next weekend maybe. Because I do have an exam tomorrow. So, yeah, bit of a short one today. We did see some interesting battles at least. Some very close ones, some not so close ones. And sadly, again, we did have to see some DQs going on. So yeah, until next week, goodbye.